Hey guys, welcome to another video, and in this video we're officially gonna start targeting Canada. Now I know most of my channel has already been talking a lot about the US and their admissions process and how we have helped students get a lot of admits over there. But in this video we're gonna start talking about Canada. We're gonna start talking about the people that I've helped get to top universities in Canada. Of course, that's all coming soon, but in this video, particularly as you read the title, it says the total cost of studying in Canada. That's what we're going to talk about, and I'm going to give you some incentive, some bonus at the end of this video, so I hope you stick around, and yeah, we'll talk about that just in a moment, okay? So without really, wasting a lot of time, if you're interested in knowing exactly what sort of an expense you're looking at when you're going to study in Canada, please continue watching. Alright, so the first thing that you need to take care of is that, before you actually move to Canada, before you actually, apply to universities, the first thing you need to do is to take the IELTS, okay? The IELTS is just an English language test. You can also take the TOEFL, okay? But especially in Canada, they really prefer IELTS. And chances are, even when you're going over there for work, let's say 2 years down the line when you're going over there for work, basically you get points, and all of that happens based on the IELTS. So I'm keeping this really simple. I'm not mentioning any technical terms, CBT and all that stuff, just the IELTS. That's what you gotta do, you gotta take. Okay, so the first thing and the first expense is for the IELTS. That's about $250, okay? The next thing, by the way, this is all in Canadian dollars. We're not talking about US dollars over here at this point, all right? Great. So after that comes the point, like the biggest investment that you have to make is your tuition fee. Okay, so let's say that you apply to a university. Okay, of course there's the application fee and all of that stuff involved. Now that's about $100 mostly. It depends on the university, can even be a $50. All right, really depends on the university. But I'm not gonna go over that because that's something that the bonus will cover that I'm talking about, by the way. But as for the tuition fee, what you have to understand is that if you're going for an undergraduate degree, your tuition will be somewhere between $10,000 to $30,000. That's again in Canadian dollars, okay? Now, however, if you're going for a postgraduate or a higher level degree, your tuition can be anywhere from $15,000 to $55,000. I know, that's a huge amount, but don't worry, on an average, it should be close to $25,000, okay? All right. Another investment that you have to make before you actually fly out to Canada is you have to invest in the GIC. What is the GIC? Again, I'm going to cover that briefly in a separate video. It's not a huge topic, so still, I want to make a separate video on that for those of you who don't understand that. For now, it's just the Guaranteed Investment Certificate. So what happens is, it's by the way, it's really good for you, because what happens is that before you actually go, you buy a GIC certificate of $10,000, okay? Now that $10,000, it's not just going to a waste, but it'll be given to you, okay? So the first month, you get about $2,000 out of these $10,000, and after that, from the second month, you start getting about $667 every single month after that, okay? So 2,000, 667, 667, 667 every month after that, okay? So that's how it goes, and it definitely helps you out in your monthly expenses and all of these things. But again, one of these things that we're just talking about, the expenses over here, the total cost, the GIC is a part of the total cost, okay? So you have to invest in $10,000 in that. All right, the next thing that I want to talk to you about is your visa application. All right, before you actually go, you have to apply for the visa, right? Now the visa application for Canada costs about $150 for the student visa, okay? So you need to apply for that. The next thing, flight tickets. You need to fly out, of course, you need to have tickets. So usually it shouldn't cost as much, but in peak seasons when you will be going, it'll cost you about 1,000 Canadian dollars, okay? Now all of the rates, in Indian rupees have also been mentioned. You can of course convert that in your currency, but in this video I'm trying to talk in the Canadian dollars because other people might be watching from different countries, right? All right, so one of the major expenses that you will incur are the living expenses, okay? Now the living expenses essentially depend on the area. You cannot tell, all right? So if you're living somewhere, near Toronto or Ottawa, then yeah, your living expenses might be higher. But if you're in one of the less prominent provinces, then your living expenses might be lower. But accordingly, your jobs, you know, when you do part-time jobs, your minimum level of pay will also vary accordingly. So, you know, it kind of evens out. All right, anyway, talking about the living expenses, on an average, you will be spending about 10,000 Canadian dollars per annum. Okay, so that's your living expenses. That's again the average. It's a little high. It might depend on the way you prefer to live. If you prefer to save up a lot, you can definitely take this a lot lower. But if you prefer to live a very, you know, comfortable sort of a life, then yeah, that might even go up. Okay, so this is just an average. All right, the next thing, health insurance. It's a mandatory expense. You have to take money out for it. Okay, there's just no escaping it. All right, and before you actually get into the health insurance, by the way, the average health insurance would cost you about $750, again Canadian dollars. But I just want to, you know, give you a little bit of an important point over here. Your health insurance should cover all of these things. Okay, make sure that it covers your medical expenses first off. Your personal accidents should be covered. Then dental treatments, which is the most expensive part in the US and Canada, these should be covered. And after that, if you have any study interruption, it should also cover that. Okay, finally, passport loss and, you know, minor things should be covered. So again, these are the major things that it should cover. Make sure you keep that in mind. But anyway, the point is it'll cost you about $750. Okay, and all right, so that's the final expenses that you will have to incur during your basically your, you know, undergrad, bachelor's, master's. I've given you an yearly expense. So depending on the length of your program, you can kind of extrapolate that all right, this is for 1 year, so for 2 years I'll, you know, need that much. Okay, so just finalizing over here, just summarizing, IELTS $250, tuition $25,000, GIC $10,000, visa application $150, flight tickets $1,000, living expenses $10,000, and health insurance $750. So overall, you can expect that you will be paying somewhere around $47,150 per annum. Okay, that's what you will be paying, and hopefully, you know, this is a little bit of we're trying to keep it on the higher side, so that, you know, this is sort of like a maximum that you will be paying per year. Now it might depend upon your program, because the tuition is the major expense and we've taken it as $25,000. But again, you know, this is more or less towards the maximum end of the scale, even if you're going to a good university in Canada. All right, so hopefully this video clears out some of your doubts. It helps you understand exactly what sort of an amount you will be needing during your bachelor's, master's, PhD, whatever you're gonna do in Canada. Hopefully what you can do is, if you are someone who's already studying in Canada, what you can do is you can comment down below and let us know what are your yearly expenses, so that we can have a much better idea, you know. Now this is just the idea I got from a lot of students who are already studying in Canada, but if you have some different experience to share, definitely be my guest. Comment down below and, you know, help us know that, all right, these sorts of expenses also occur, or, you know, it can be lower as well. So yeah, we would love to know more about that. If you enjoyed the video and if you need any help with your Canadian application process, you can connect with me over Instagram. Or, by the way, in this video, like I said, we're gonna go over one bonus tip at the end. Yeah, so the bonus over here is that if you go onto this website called YMGrad.com, what you can see over there is that you can get the data of a lot of universities. Okay, so we recently populated the university data for Canadian universities. All you need to do is go over there, select the Canadian university, and you will be able to actually get the data for those Canadian universities. For instance, you can get the tuition, you can get the living expenses, you can get the application fee, the deadlines, all of these things, you know, depending on your program. You can even get the average salary. So all of these things are already mentioned over there, the scholarships, all of these things. Just go over there, get the data, and hopefully that will help you out. All right, thank you for watching the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.